Hey friends, today we are reading a story called Freddy the Frogcaster, written by Janice Dean, the Weather Machine, illustrated by Russ Cox. Blue skies, puffy white clouds, sunshine with a light breeze. Ah, perfect weather for lily pad hopping in the pond near Freddy's house. Freddy liked rainy days too, splashing in puddles, listening to the pitter patter of rain. Snowy days were also fun, a day off school to build snow frogs. The air so cold Freddy could see his own breath. Hot chocolate sitting in front of a toasty fire. Ah, all kinds of weather made Freddy happy. His mom says Freddie was born to be a frogcaster. She remembers the very day it became clear. Freddie was barely bigger than a tadpole as she pushed him along in his stroller. He pointed at a big gray cloud and said, "Rain!" It was his first word. Mama Frog barely had time to push the stroller home before it started pouring. Freddie and his mom watched Sally Croaker, the chief frogcaster on the Frog News Network, every morning. Sally was the best meteorologist in town. Everyone relied on her forecasts to plan their weekends, trips, and events. As Freddie grew, he kept his eye on the sky, watching the clouds for clues about the weather. Some days there were big heaps of clouds that looked like cotton candy. Sometimes they looked like flat and hazy, like a big gray blanket. Some clouds were wispy and curly, like a horsetail. How does Freddie use the clouds to predict the weather? I think you're right. I think he looks at the shape and the color of the clouds to predict the weather. Good job. Freddie was so interested in weather that Papa Frog built him a weather station in their backyard. It had thermometers, barometers, and all kinds of weather instruments. On the roof, there was a weather vane to show the wind's direction. His parents never had to ask Freddie what he wanted for his birthday or Christmas. The weather books, charts, and tools they got him always made him happy. Freddie started each day gathering weather clues. He watched the clouds, but he also paid attention to the temperature, barometric pressure, and humidity. Then he ran back to the house to watch Sally's weather forecast to see if his predictions were right. At first, Freddie's mom thought his weather watching was cute. But Freddie was right so many times that Mama Frog couldn't help but boast to her friends about his weather predictions. Before long, the whole town knew about Freddy the Frogcaster. One day at school, Freddie's friend Holly Hopper was worried that it would rain on her birthday and ruin her outdoor party. Their teacher, Mrs. Fibian, said, "Why don't we ask our own frogcaster for help?" Mrs. Fibian handed Freddie her chalk, and Freddie drew the forecast on the blackboard. He explained how high pressure system was hovering right over Lilypad. This meant that the weather should be sunny and warm for the next few days. Hooray! The whole class cheered when Freddie finished his report. He was so excited when Holly invited him to her party. Then one day, something happened that changed Freddie's daily weather routine. Sally Croaker, Freddie's favorite TV frogcaster, had three little tadpoles. While Sally was out on tadpole leave, the Frog News Network hired a new frogcaster to fill in. Her name was Polly Woggins, and boy, was she a hit. every group in town invited her to come and speak at their meetings, from the Salamander Society to the Bullfrog Ballet. All of her special appearances kept her hopping. The attention was great for the TV station. More and more frogs tuned in to see the new Frogcaster in action. But Freddie started to notice a change in the forecasts. It seemed like Polly was so busy with all of her celebrity appearances that she didn't have time to watch the weather clues. Several days in a row, Freddie's forecasts were more accurate than Polly's. Some days, Polly didn't seem to have a forecast at all. Mother Nature is being tricky today. It may be sunny or it may rain. Who knows? It may even snow. Well, be prepared. Frogs were juggling their umbrellas, sunglasses, and mittens. That way, they would be ready for any type of weather. So, why are Freddie's forecasts more accurate than Polly's forecasts? That's right, excellent. If we go back into the text, we can see that Polly was so busy with all of her celebrity appearances that she didn't have time to watch the weather clues. So that made her predictions much less accurate. One day, the mayor dropped by to pay Freddie a visit. Mr. Mayor, what can I do for you, sir? Freddie asked politely. As you know, Freddie, the Leapfrog Picnic is a week away. It is a big event for frog families near and far, and we need an accurate weather forecast for that day, the mayor said. Why are you telling me? Freddie looked puzzled. Polly Wilkins is the new frogcaster? The mayor looked one way, then he looked the other way. He leaned in close and he said in a quiet voice, The thing is, Polly is so busy with her frog fans, she barely has time to say weather, let alone forecast it. I need you to keep an eye on the weather so that we can plan a great day. I'll do my best, Mr. Mayor, Freddie said. Then Freddie offered to show the mayor his weather station. As Freddie led the mayor out to the backyard, he explained, Weather gets tricky to forecast this time of year. One day it's warm and dry, the next day it's cool and rainy. If it gets cold enough, it could even snow. The mayor was impressed with Freddie's weather station. Amazing, he declared, certain he had found the right frog for the job. Freddie wasn't about to let the town down. Every day he checked and rechecked his maps and instruments. Things were looking fine until the day before the picnic. If the cold front moving in from the west mixed with the warm air from the south, it could bring strong thunderstorms. Freddie knew thunderstorms and picnics were not a good combination, and not just because it would soak the fried cricket sandwiches, it could put the frogs in real danger. Freddie was worried. Polly Wilkins hadn't mentioned a word about rain in her last forecast. Freddie had to do something. He called the mayor and asked him to meet him at the weather station. But when the mayor arrived, he wasn't alone. Freddie's favorite TV frogcaster, Sally Croaker, was with him, tadpoles in tow. I heard you needed a little help, she explained. With no time to waste, Sally and Freddie hopped on it. Mr. Mayor, Sally said, Freddie is right. There is a big storm on the way. Quick, turn on the TV, said the mayor. Maybe we can get word to Polly in time for her last forecast. But they were too late. Polly was signing off, advising her frog fans to be prepared for perfect picnic weather tomorrow. Uh-oh, said Sally. Uh-oh is right, said the mayor. Hey, wait a minute, said Freddie. She's not all wrong. The mayor and Sally were confused. Be prepared, said Freddie. She said, be prepared. We can do that. Why, yes, we can, agreed the mayor with a big sigh of relief. Come on, Freddie, we have got work to do. So why is Polly's forecast not all wrong? What do you think the mayor and Freddie will do based on Polly's forecast? So right now, I'm going to look at the text and I'm going to be reminded that she did say to be prepared. So that's the part of her forecast that was not wrong. Now I'm going to infer that Freddy's forecast was correct and that it's going to rain and have a thunderstorm. So because of that, I'm going to make a prediction that they may be prepared for a storm and move their picnic inside. I don't know. Let's see if my prediction is correct. The big day started off fine, sunny and warm. All the frogs were having fun playing in the lily pad and drying off in the warm sun. Right before lunch, things started to change. The fluffy white clouds turned gray and lumpy. There was a chill in the air, and the wind started to howl. A loud rumble sounded in the distance. Big sloppy raindrops began to fall. The mayor grabbed his megaphone and said, "Please, move your family and your friend and your food to the Frogatorium. I repeat, everyone head to the Frogatorium now." Freddy held up a big white sign with a red arrow guiding the fleeing froggies in the right direction. In no time at all, the frogs were settling in for an indoor picnic, cheering on the winner of the fly eating contest and practicing for the leapfrog race. Happy frogs were nibbling on food piled high on tables that Freddy, Sally, and the mayor had set up the night before. Freddy knew that when it comes to weather, it was always best to be prepared. Wouldn't you know it, the Leapfrog Picnic was a huge success. The mayor and Sally made sure everyone knew that Freddy's forecasting had saved the day. Even Polly Woggins stopped to thank him. She was a little embarrassed, but happy to give him credit. "You know, Freddy," she said, "I could use a frogcaster like you to help out. Would you like to be my assistant?" I would, he shouted. Everyone laughed. "Look over there," said Sally. All the frogs turned. It was the biggest, most beautiful rainbow Freddy had ever seen. Freddy smiled. Things always look better after the sun comes out. And the future sure did look bright for the little frogcaster. I hope you enjoyed reading this book with me, friends. Bye.